Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
What up, what up, what up? It's another Wednesday night. It's another hump night. We made it halfway through the motherfucking week. Give yourself a round of applause.
Jesus.
And it's the middle of
Can we
the
get a round of
year.
applause,
We
please?
already
Keep humping, you're going to make it to TGIF.
That's right.
And that don't mean shit to me because I still got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
There we
It
go.
is what it is. This nigga got a whole gallon of Arizona
Well, it's not a
iced
whole.
tea.
Yeah.
It used to be, but
Yeah, it was
I'm
a
going to
whole.
get you a tumbler. You need a tumbler, Dave?
No.
No? You just,
He
that's
said,
how you,
"Fuck it, I'm
that's
just
how
gonna
you
bring the
want to
whole
do
jug."
it.
I'm
You
bringing
drink it
the
straight
jug.
out,
Guzzle it.
straight out the nozzle?
No, I have a cup. But
Oh,
I
you
left
have
my
a
cup
cup?
in. So the rest of it's gonna be drunk. So yeah.
Hey, y'all, it's hump day.
It's
Hope you're
hump
humping
day.
on something tonight. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about some shit tonight. But before we get into it, Mark, tell us what's on the floor with you, my boy.
Oh yeah. We got the how we've been doing the traffic jam on a yearly basis, right? It was like an annual thing. So we just got an opportunity to do it
Hey,
weekly.
Rita.
We're gonna do it weekly now. We have weekly meet and greets with our podcast crew and our audience, so they'll be able to come out and party with us, and that will be the precursor to us actually doing live podcasts with with an audience at the events, right? So
Let's go.
the 7 Mile Radio All-Star podcast, which is from some people that's been following 7 Mile Radio for a while. You remember the Traffic Jam podcast, where I would take select members from each podcast, and we would do a show on Saturdays, you know what I'm saying, whoever's available. So that's kind of like what we're going to do on Tuesdays, you know what I'm saying? The All-Stars, each week we'll have a panel of different people from different shows talking about whatever it is that we come up with talking about. You know what I mean? Have vendors and, drinking games. Me and D-Mac been talking about a lot of creative, fun things that we can do at the event on top of all of the other festive stuff we got on the floor. And, we be doing that, starting that shit as soon as next week.
Yay.
That sound like the old ABC show I,
I would
used to
love
watch on
to
the weekend.
do a live
Battle of the
podcast
All-Stars.
and have a live audience. That would just be
Yeah,
fire.
and as
fucking
opposed to
dope.
them calling in, we'll have like a podium that they can walk up to. And
Yeah, like the
comment.
Donahue show. Remember
Yeah,
that
type
shit?
shit. Yeah, it's like
They
a
used to
live.
walk up to
It's
the
a live
mic.
talk show, basically. You know
Showing
what
our
I'm saying?
age when we say Donahue.
Right. Sally, Jesse, Raphael.
Oh, maybe I should say who should I say? Who's hot today? What's the boy's name?
Maury.
What's his name?
What's the dude name?
Karamo.
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 He's the new black Dr. Young
Yeah.
Field
Okay.
Yeah.
in the mental
I know
health
nothing
field of
about
talk
that
show.
guy.
I don't either.
Channel 24 o'clock. He unlocks phones. They go take deep dives into couples' phones and find out all kind of
shit.
juicy
They
shit.
sure do.
Oh shit.
That is so funny.
If it's not around the horn or PTI, I'm not watching nothing at 4 or 5 o'clock besides that.
Miss Avon, I don't know if you're on here or not, but we see
Yay.
the remnants of what you have done.
Thank
she
you.
And she has put that
Da,
pound
da,
on the camera,
da.
David. She made us. Is this a sweet potato or
Yes,
pumpkin?
a sweet
Yes,
A
it
sweet
is.
potato.
Wrong camera. Wrong camera.
This one, David.
Oh my God.
They can't. Oh, there
Yep,
we
there
go.
it is.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
She made us a nice sweet potato
God
pie. So
bless
if y'all
you.
hear us
We're
chewing
about to
in
get
between
into that right
Yes.
our
there.
commentary,
And I
Y'all
smiled y'all
just-
in my braces.
y'all just spare us. And if y'all see a little
You
bit
can
of
smell
potato,
it through YouTube right now if y'all listening
Man.
or watching.
if you see a little bit of potato pie and tax braces, just
Yes.
look over it.
Yeah.
She'll get it out
I
later.
get out.
How your week been, Tab?
Oh my God, it's been so packed, Mac.
Man,
It's been
That
so
was a
packed,
bar.
Mac.
That was it, wasn't it? In Brime, didn't it?
But for the most part, it's been wonderful. It's a blessing. Like I say, still just going on with just family shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? And I really, I love it. I
I
love
know
it.
one thing from the post. Y'all was eating good.
Hell yeah! Then I had to cook one
The
day.
overstuffed omelet.
Oh, I made that. I was cooking
I
that.
seen that.
Yay.
I was
I
like,
tried-
oh,
I almost
damn.
bit my phone
I just
looking at
knew
it.
you was coming in here with something for us. Like,
Oh shit. Okay, so
now that we know you get down
Yes.
in the kitchen.
I'll bring the dish next Wednesday.
Awesome.
I got us. Well, yeah, it was great, Mac. I thank you for asking. Like I say, it's just I mean, even carrying in from y'all, it has not stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like I just love it. I'm just thankful. I thank God that I am just constantly I'm surrounded surrounding myself. At the point sometimes you don't surround yourself in, you know what I'm saying, in the company you need to, you know what I'm saying, be around, the company you need to keep. And lately that's what it's been with me, and I see that everything else feels good because of that. Awesome. Like, even though it's been packed and I've been like, oh my God, I'm drained. This been going on. I'm tired. As soon as I pulled up, got out, came through the door, and came down here with you all, it's just like, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Waiting to exhale.
Yep, thank you guys. So I'm ready. How about you, Mac?
My week has been very productive. I'm on my last week in class. I'm holding my very solid A.
You better.
I'm only missing 14 points out of the total points, which was a fluke in the first week. I was rusty, but it is what it is.
Oh, you got this.
But awesome. I've had a wonderful week. I've had a wonderful week despite the rain, despite the heat. I hate the heat.
Yeah.
I already had hot flashes.
Oh, we
so
know
I'll
you
be
hate
on
the heat. D Fahrenheit.
Fucking fire.
I'm like, I'm 21 having hot flashes.
I go down to my basement like, let me just go downstairs for a little while. For real. David, how was your week, my boy?
My week was good. I got to
You
work.
did the Grand Prix, didn't you?
I did the Grand Prix.
Did.
I lost my hearing for about 10 minutes though. I
You
went
didn't
outside.
do the earplugs?
I didn't. So I was setting up. So I was bartending,
Okay.
and the client we had was actually from over in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I went outside. I said, I'm gonna view for a minute. My manager is trying to talk to me. All I heard is, I'm like, for like 10 minutes. So, but it popped, and once it was good.
Right.
But it was nice. There was 3 accidents right by. So I worked right at the port of
With
Detroit.
the race cars?
Yes.
Oh my
So
God.
the first turn where the Penske is at, I'm making a drink. Boom. It was like 3 accidents. One actually hit the gate. So, but it was really cool though. So
Everybody was in.
everybody
safe
was
though?
good. Yeah, everybody was safe
I
and
mean,
good.
to me, those little cars just seem like a death trap. But it's amazing how they get out of a fireball.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah, they got
amazing how they get out of those
roll
cars.
cages
Yeah.
inside of them, so
Yeah.
it's not like built like a regular car
Okay.
where it'll collapse if it flips over and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's
Okay.
a whole cage inside.
So
of
basically, they just bump it around.
it. Yeah.
Okay, with protection. That's good.
Yeah, they do get out the fire like, whoa. What outfit he got on like that?
All your family made it back safely.
All my family made it back safely. I just had I had a good chill week.
So I was watching your live, Dave,
Uh-huh.
on your way here, or
Yes.
or something. I don't know if it was on your way here.
Yeah, it was on my way
You
here.
you just experienced a loss.
So my uncle. So
Was he at the cookout?
no, he wasn't at the
Oh, he
cookout.
didn't leave it.
So this was before the cookout. So you know how you grow up and like when I was 18, my first job was bouncing at a gentleman's club. So this was like one of my uncles. This was like, you know how you got your play uncle.
Yeah.
Like I just realized that like I'm 42 now, and now everybody calls me Unc. Like
Yep.
you got a bunch of just like you got a bunch of nieces out here.
Oh, my
so my
goodness,
Uncle
yes.
Tim was the first one that put me up on game. I had braids at the time, so everybody used to call me Baby Sap because I looked just like Warren Sapp with the cornrows and everything.
Right.
So he nicknamed me. So that was my uncle. Actually,
Okay.
I remember the good
Tim.
times.
That's
I remember good
R.I.P.
times.
Uncle Tim.
That's right.
Yes, sir. So check it out. We about to move over to Tat. She gonna tell us about our topic. Yo, look, check this out. We had a guest set up for tonight.
We ain't gonna say no names, Cam.
We ain't gonna say no
Wow,
names,
that's
Cam.
what we doing.
And she was gonna talk to us about her experience transitioning from a woman to a man, but she's not here, and so we're gonna pivot. This is Truth Podcast. We're flexible. We know what to do. We know how to do it. So go ahead and introduce our topic.
I sure
Miss
will.
Tats.
Thank you, Mac. So tonight's show is about the LGBTQrstuvwx. Why the fuck so many letters? I just want to. Yeah.
You didn't tell me
I know.
this was gonna be today.
Y and Z. You can't forget Y and Z
I
because
mean,
it's
like, can
coming.
we
I don't
have-
know.
Can y'all save us some letters?
That's crazy.
All right, but so we're gonna kick it about the whole community. But I want to give a little history on it. Okay, a lot of times that's what we're known for anyway. Besides just keeping it real, is
Right.
that we do research and we do try to find out where things originated from, and how it all got started. So let's not act like we never knew about this. This is way before our time. Homosexuality, same-sex marriage. Let me tell you how I know. Records of homosexuality are present since at least 14th century in Vietnam. I like y'all didn't know that.
Mm.
Y'all didn't?
No, I did
I
not.
mean, you can go back to
Okay.
biblical days.
You sure can.
Yeah.
Actually.
Alright. In the Philippines, same-sex marriage was documented as normalized as early as the 1500s.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just like you said, even biblical times. Right? I just think a lot of things are just like overrated. I'm gonna let you go more into depth about it first, Mac. My thing is, and you see my shirt, I wore this shirt just for tonight. It says be kind to all kind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think towards the end, when I speak a little more about it, I'll just say that's really just what it boils down to. Just everybody just love each other. Hey, if you're getting love wherever you're getting it from, and it's real love, I ain't got nothing bad to say about it. But Mac, you start off.
Well, we were going to have Cam tell her story, but I guess since I'm the only Alphabet community member on the staff,
Well, you know what? And don't mean to cut you off. Would you like for me to tell a little bit about Cam before you get to
yeah,
it?
let's talk a little bit. I mean, is that okay? Is she okay with that?
My niece, you good with it, and so yeah,
Alright.
yes,
And
I,
if Cam still want to call in,
Yeah, she can
Yeah,
call in. Even
I know
if
you
she
live
too
in the
tired
plant
to
life, yeah.
drive. You know what I
Cam
mean?
is
Call
living that
in.
plant life, and y'all know how it goes.
Tell us your story.
Yeah, if you up Cam, call in, baby. 313-723-0481. That's for the rest of you all as well. If you have something to share, opinion, or just want to share, spread some love with us on the phone, call in. So Cam is actually my biological niece. I call Cam my niece few. I remember when Cam first started coming and saying, now notice the voice is getting deeper first. Too. You're like, wait, whoa. Like, where this come from? You know? And started seeing little hairs and stuff growing up. What's going on? And so she kicked it with me, you know, and she told me that she feels as though she identifies as a male, and that she made her mind up that that's exactly what she was, or she identified, and that she
I
was
wish she was here because I would like to know the process of the decision making process.
right.
When you say she made her mind up,
Yeah.
because
And I think what it is, as far as making mind speaking to her, it was more or less, do I force myself, because and it all goes also with support, lack of support, ridicule, things like judgment, and all those things. So I think that's when it's like the mind, the mindset and making your mind up for probably for a lot of people when they're going through these phases.
how is this going to impact
stages.
this person?
Impact that
What is
person.
this person going to think? Am I going to disappoint this person? Or am I
Yep.
going to be a failure
Yep.
in the eyes of this
I
person?
love how you word stuff. I love how you come and
Yeah.
some things up there. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So it's a lot. People do go through a lot when they're making these type of decisions. That's like we're making any decision. You know, it's like us saying, hey, if I go off into and I don't want to go to that college, or whatever, it's gonna upset them and things like that. Whatever, it's the same thing. You know.
The decision, when
Yeah.
you say when it comes to this decision, is it the decision to be or identify as, or the decision to, because a lot of people say it wasn't a choice, right?
Right.
So it's not a decision. It's an acceptance of who I am,
Oh,
right?
I like that.
So
I like that.
is it a decision?
Right.
that's a very good question.
That was. And guess what? With you saying that, because of me speaking not just to Cam, but plenty of people in my life and around me, and they have used that. That's why I said decision, because that's exactly what they said to me. And maybe you just even helped them out. I see that's a Truth Podcast, baby.
That's what we do.
You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that.
But to be very honest, for me, it was a decision.
okay.
So for everybody, it's not, I was born that way and I knew ever since I was 2 years old.
Right.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't even
Okay.
have a clue.
Really?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't until I was 16
okay.
that when I got my first job, and the managers at this particular pizza restaurant happened to be lesbian, right?
Okay.
But all the way up to that point, boyfriends. Even after that point, boyfriends. But I'm there and I'm just, I'm watching this dynamic happen. Because, I grew up in church. Mom,
Right,
pastor,
yeah.
granddaddy, a pastor. So, if you knew anything about it, you knew it was bad.
Yeah.
Right? You knew you were going to go to hell.
Right.
So that just wasn't something you entertained.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So even though I worked underneath this management, it just was not something that crossed my mind for
Right.
me.
Right.
Right. However, my mom thought because they were giving me extra hours that they were trying to pull me into this lifestyle. Right.
Oh, wow.
So she made me quit.
Right.
Like she literally made me quit because she's scared of these people. Right. What you so scared of?
Right.
Like, so anywhere I go in the world, if there's gay people around, you gonna like try to shield me or protect me because you've been taught that it's bad. You've been taught that it's evil. You've been taught it's of the devil. It's one of those spirits that need to be casted out.
Right.
Oh, wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So I
Right.
can't even work with these motherfuckers.
Right.
So what it did was it made me inquire. I'm like, what's so wrong with them? I don't see nothing wrong with them.
Mhm.
They working just like I'm working.
Mhm.
Why are you so mad
Mhm.
about who they are and what they choose to do?
That's right.
So, you know, I ended up having to quit my job, and I was so upset by that, along with a lot of other things, and I called myself running away, like shit. I gotta quit my job because you don't like these people.
You said you were 16.
16. My very first job, I worked at a pizza restaurant. I was a dishwasher.
Okay.
But I also had a cousin who came to live with us who was working there before me.
Okay.
But she wasn't getting the hours that I was getting.
Okay.
And so my mom was like, oh, they trying to get you. No, maybe that means I'm a good worker.
Good work.
Exactly.
So,
You know
let
what
me,
I'm saying?
got you. So let me ask y'all this. When was the first time that you heard or was experienced around hearing the word gay or lesbian
Okay.
or dare I say queer or transgender or what was y'all? So with you, D-Mac, did you? I guess what I want to ask is, did you experience it first, or did you hear about it first before you made up in your mind, this is who I am?
My hearing about it was so negative
Okay,
and so hateful.
got you.
And because my heart wasn't that, it made me more compassionate toward the group and
Gotcha.
want to understand why the church hates y'all. Because I don't see why they hate y'all. I was 16. I didn't know shit about shit. All I knew was wherever my mother took us. And wherever she took us, it was either the Masonic temple where we were doing the drill squads and all that type of stuff, and the Shriners and all that type of shit, or we was at church.
Gotcha.
Or we was on the football field, or we were cheering.
Right.
So we didn't have exposure.
Right.
But then I got my first job.
Right.
And then there came the exposure, and that was really my first real exposure.
Okay.
But then the response that my mom had to it, it was kind of like, wait a minute. Why are you so mad at them?
Right.
So you really piqued my interest.
Right.
The very thing you were trying to avoid, you actually pushed me toward.
I get it.
You understand
I
what
get
I'm
it.
saying?
Yep. Yep. It's like them shelter kids. No, you can't go out and do that. And there it is.
Then you get out there and you got the big eye
They
syndrome
didn't
like a
win
kid in
wild.
the Toy Story.
Okay.
The concept I have of it is like, think about how you load a projectile on the slingshot, right? And that child is the rock, right? And whatever you're trying to keep them from is the rubber band. You holding them from it. But whenever that point comes that you have to let them go,
Right.
they're gonna fly straight toward whatever it is you're trying to keep them from.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so back to your question as far as when I first heard about it, things like that. Well, actually, it was also, so we would hear from some people speaking bad, saying very negative, and more it's like a no, saying that's a disgrace. As opposed to other people that's around me, saying like we just, saying just love on people. And so I had neighbors. We were little, we were really young, and it was a male gay couple.
Got you.
Yeah, so but I'm saying my family they were good to my family was good to them, and then also saying I have relatives. And honestly, I have one of my nephews, and I knew, like we knew when he was a kid. And it's something that we said, like we knew, like, oh no, he's gonna, be involved with the same sex. It's like you could just tell as a little boy. And I asked him as well, when did he think, and he was like, since I was a kid. I've also talked to other people, and they'll tell me their stories, like especially some of the young women, and they're like, I have some that's said that they never want a man to be in control of them or in power because of things that they've been through, things that they've seen. It could have been, saying their mother being abused, or just being dogged, by a guy and stuff. So I also have heard that as well. Like, I don't ever want a man to feel like, he has any type of power, and I could see it, it's just like, oh, that's part of.
And so the default is a woman?
I guess so. So I've also.
But then there are a class of women
Yeah.
who are just as. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I always tell
up
people
is-
all the time, don't come over here tiptoeing over here thinking the grass is greener.
Right.
This grass die in the wintertime too.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Don't, and I tell people, you think your feelings been hurt by a dude, you're gonna come over here and get devastated.
Yep.
Because now you've given up this life, you've given up this image, and you've now subjected yourself to the scrutiny of who you're trying to be. But then this person treats you the same way
Same
that
way.
person did, and then
Yeah.
now you're embarrassed. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Now it's like, damn.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, I be embarrassed a whole female, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Telling her feelings about a whole female and shit. Like,
Wait a minute.
can't believe this bitch.
So, the reason I asked that question, when I first found out, now, I grew up in the church.
Right.
So, the first time I heard about it 2 times. Once, the first time I was bouncing at the gentleman's club, and I went out with a couple of ladies after. And they used to have this after hour right on 75 in John R called Innuendo.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Lord,
I
not
didn't
the kitty
know.
bar.
So I didn't know
Right.
I was going
Right.
to a gay
You just
club.
knew you
This
was
is a
gonna
gay
be
after hour.
security.
Okay.
So wait a minute. So I am 20. I want to say 2021. So I'm going. So I bounced, and it was this badass female. She was like, well, "We about to go out." And it's like about 3, 4 bad females. So I'm like,
Right.
damn, I'm trying to get it in.
Right.
So me and my boy going. I get to the door. I see a guy on stage with a heart tattoo on his chest, just hitting. So I'm like, wait a minute. And then they didn't serve no alcohol. They had, as you said, they had a kitty punch.
It was a kitty bar, yes.
Right.
I was like, okay, where the hell am I at? And funny part is, I seen a person I went to high school with.
Right.
That, in high school, you was like, well, is he? Because I didn't know what it was, but you was like, he kind of different. And he was in there.
Right.
So that was the first time I did it. I stayed in, I think, for like a couple of minutes. I end up falling asleep on the hood of the car waiting outside for the girls. I didn't even stay in for like 10 minutes. My second experience, I was working at Outback Steakhouse. And worked with this guy named Travis.
Okay.
Travis had a crush on me.
Okay.
Worked at Outback. Travis was hilarious. As a matter of fact, he got me these gym shoes. And the gym shoes had $100 bill pattern on the outside.
Did you accept him?
Did you? I was just about to ask the same.
Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute, man.
I accept them, but you weren't getting no ass from me, clearly.
Brother, but
My ass is untouchable.
My ass
no,
untouchable.
man,
It
I'm not.
comes out
I'm
right.
sorry, man. No
Pass me the
disrespect, but I
pie.
can't. I probably can't accept no gifts from
Okay,
no gay man.
but he was funny.
I will accept
not
them from a gay girl.
but not to
You're
be,
a woman. That's okay for
But
you.
not
We're gonna
to-
get to that too.
but not at the pun, as in he was funny as hell. But he told me this one joke, I'll never forget it. He said, "What is the difference between a gay guy and a refrigerator?
Lord have mercy.
We ready?
I don't even know.
When you pull the meat out the refrigerator, it doesn't let out gas.
When you pull the meat out, you get it?
When you pull the meat out of a gay guy,
Yes.
think about pulling out the meat out of it. Yeah. So, but I thought it was funny at the time.
Y'all excuse me. It's just too much for me.
Yeah,
Why the fuck is there
Where's
so
Marlon
many
Blunt?
goddamn alphabets?
Yes.
That's all
Can
I
we get
wanna
back to
fucking
that?
know.
Can we get an answer for that? Can somebody please?
When
tell me?
I first figured out this is who the fuck I was, right? It was just okay, I'm gay. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know nothing about the community. I ain't know nothing about the alphabet. I ain't know nothing about the roles, nothing, right? So I go to this little motherfucker. Now, I'm straight out the church, right? Used to be a preacher, ordained evangelist, all this type of shit, right? Engaged to be married to a whole man preacher, right? I had my first little experience with another preacher who was my mentor in the ministry.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A female.
Gotcha.
Right.
And immediately I knew, like, no, nigga, no. We
Right.
can't do this wedding thing. I can't do it. And so we were literally 3 months away from the wedding.
Okay.
And when I discovered through experience,
Now, is he going to do a series called Who the F They Almost Married?
Yeah.
Or you? The one that you was about?
I don't know what he gonna do. I thought he was a little twinkle toes too. Anyway, so, look. Let me not be derogatory. I thought he was a little effeminate. You know, it was one of them churches.
Wait a minute. So the word that the church use now is even if a guy is married, he's down low. His wife is his beard. Has anybody ever heard of that?
The beard of Aaron, like
The beard
So in
She
other
just cover
words,
up.
you know how a beard.
I'm with
In
you,
other
Mark.
words,
covers
That-
up, like she said.
yes. So in other words, he's gay, but he doesn't want it out there. So what he'll do is he'll marry a woman that's considered his beard to cover.
But let me tell you,
Oh.
this is how the
And
shit
this
went.
is in the church.
Wow.
Neither one of us was in love with each other.
Got you.
It was one of them little Church of God in Christ apostolic appointed type shit. That's your husband, that's your wife. And this nigga jumped on it and went and bought me and had this ring that was designed so scandalous. It was like, when he gave it to me, I'm like, am I supposed to say no? I want the ring though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, but at that time, I was not aware. Like when I
Gotcha.
received the ring, I was not aware of what I was
About to experience.
Okay.
right? So I had this mentor in the ministry, and I couldn't understand. I'm like, why we always, go by ourselves, and everybody else go out to eat after church? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Why you like? I felt like she was kind of like grooming my
Grooming, yeah.
motherfucking ass because
Okay.
I was young. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I was 24.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 25-ish. And I was like, what? Well, she was like, well, they told me they assigned me to you. The pastors assigned me to you. To keep you away from the groups that are bad and keep you away from the little cliques in the church and this, that. And I said, but we ain't never around nobody else. Like, what the fuck going on?
Right.
But no, the funny part is I was kind of like, I didn't know too much outside of my little couple weeks experience at the pizzeria, right?
Right.
And I was just like, so time go by, whatever. And we spending a lot of time just alone. And one day we at my apartment, we watching a movie, and there was nothing for us to lay across my bed, right? Like just
Except you.
just
Right.
my girl, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not my girlfriend.
Right, my homegirl.
But the shit, like, she leaned over and kissed me and shit, and I jumped up like the devil is a lie, because I was just so, like, deep and wonderful and spiritual and shit,
Right.
and everything I was taught was contrary to what she just did,
Right.
right? And so I was like, the devil is a lie, and she was like, I love you, and stopped professing her love and all this bullshit,
wow.
and I'm just like, what the fuck I say? And I was like, I went the fuck off, like,
Right.
for real. But then, being depleted of love, right? Not having had the love of your mom, family, and all that type of stuff. You just really out here, just one of God's vessels, and really just disconnected, right? So it was kind of like, love. She loved me. What you mean you love me? I'm like, okay, well, shit.
Show me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, what the fuck that mean? You know what I'm saying? So we talked. She explained it to me, and I was just like, okay. And shit popped from then on.
Okay.
But I knew then, I was like, okay, I can't do this little arranged marriage shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't do this little appointed, that God told me that's your husband, that's your wife, and all that little stupid ass shit
Okay.
that they do in church. You know what I'm saying? So I called my pastors. I'm like, hey, so we a little bit more than mentor and ministry mentee. You know what I'm saying? And I can't marry him. And I called him and had him meet us there an hour later so I could talk to the pastors and then talk to him. Because I was straightforward. Like, once I had that experience, I was like, shit,
Right.
nigga,
Right.
I ain't going back never. Right? So,
And I noticed something that you said, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't mind, if we can both elaborate on it. You mentioned, as far as like you said, you didn't have the love and things and other areas and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it safe to say that's exactly what it is in a lot of same-sex?
I can't speak for anybody else because see, what we can't do is put everybody in this community in the same
Right.
pot of stew.
So-
Everybody has their own set of experiences. Some people feel like they're born that way. Some people are that way because, like for me, I had some sexual abuse in my history,
Right.
right? And so I cannot be the person that's
Okay.
not in control of the sexual experience.
Okay.
I knew that much,
Okay.
but I didn't know it meant that I had to be the dominant woman.
Okay. So what
Right.
I was trying so what I was saying is, well, do you think with a lot of people, same sex relationships, is it that they're trying to? Because I've also had people tell me, a few people tell me that, well, I've been with men,
Mm-hmm.
I've been with plenty of men, and another woman knew exactly what I wanted because she wanted the same things too. I had others tell me, well, they didn't love me right. I didn't get the love from, these people or other people. And this person, I'm finding in the same sex is that they giving me that love.
I always thought about that.
The thing
Yeah.
about that is, go ahead, Dave.
And it's gonna sound funny and ignorant, but I always thought like, if you had bad poom poom or you got bad penis, it made you go to the other side.
Right.
No, I don't think it's that shallow. I don't think it's that surface for a lot of people because you can just go to the next nigga that got better dick. You know what I'm saying? Or you can go to the next bitch that got better pussy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's that surface. And so what a lot of people minimize LGBTQrstuvwxyz
YMZ.
situations
Uh-huh.
to is sexual.
Exactly.
And so what she just said was this woman said, well, he could never get me, but she got me. And then I'm going to tell you, I have clients that have come to me and have been bruised men because their women left them for another woman.
Yes.
Understand this one thing. Understand this one thing. That's not something you can compete with.
Yeah.
Or
And be
control.
careful when you ask for those threesomes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not something
Okay,
you can
fellas.
compete with. My thing is this. You have two women. Of course they identify. Of
Right.
course I know what a woman
Right.
wants because I'm a woman.
Right.
Of course I know how to treat you and how to woo you
Right.
because I'm also a woman. There was a time when I was you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Don't cover that up.
just because
Don't do that.
he does not demonstrate it the way a woman demonstrated does not mean that he's not demonstrating it.
Right.
You're just not receiving it because it's not coming the way you want it to come.
Exactly. Makes sense.
So it's not because, oh, she knows me, she knows what I like without me having to say anything.
Right.
Of course she does. She's a woman.
Yep.
She knows the anatomy of herself.
Yep.
Got you.
I get that.
But that's when we have to be realistic and say, okay, apples are apples, oranges are oranges, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and sometimes we have to communicate to the other party because then he's not a woman,
Right.
and he may not know how to flip that hood back and get to that clip. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He may not know that it ain't about to just the fast pounding motion, and he may not know how to caress the pussy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just certain things that a woman knows
Right.
because she's a woman,
Right.
and that doesn't make it extraordinary.
Right.
It just makes it what it is.
Right.
So let me ask you this, and when we were all the questions I've always wanted to ask
Mhm.
when this subject came up,
Mhm.
I guess the one thing that I don't want to say kind of irks me, and this is why I appreciate you even more.
Mhm.
You're how can I put it? You're not stereotypical gay or
Yeah.
lesbian.
Yeah.
And
Like-
that's my goal, not to be, and to dispel the myth,
Yeah.
right?
Because I feel for you to be gay or lesbian, you don't have to be a guy, have a switch in your walk, or have
Yeah.
a purse, or you don't have to you don't have to dress like Magic Johnson's son,
Right.
or you don't have to be if you're, maybe a derogatory word would be a stud or butch.
Right.
You don't have to be like this show on Tubi that I've seen called Hoochie Days.
Right.
I feel it should be a balance. It should be more about the person instead of the outside. I feel some people that are gay or lesbian or transgender try to show or be flashy, and it kind of irks me. Like, well, you could be gay, but do you have to just
I understand
lead with your sexuality?
exactly?
Yeah.
The over exaggeration
The
comes,
over-exaggeration.
Yes.
comes from an inner depletion.
Okay.
It comes from a place of I don't really fully accept myself.
Right.
I still judge myself.
Yeah.
I still am not fully okay with myself.
Yeah.
Which means
Doing this to
I
convince me.
need you to validate me. So I need to be extravagant. I need to be extra. I need to get your attention. When you really don't. Sometimes all you need to do is just be who you are and live your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate when they say, "Oh, I knew you was gay because you played with dolls," or "I knew because you like pink," or something like that. And I feel like you're just putting stereotypes on people, and then more people don't want to open
gender
up and be
roles.
who they are.
It's gender roles. So, okay, so I had a friend, this was years ago. I had a friend who, and this is LGBTQrstuvwxyz Awareness Month, and that is why we're having this conversation tonight. It was supposed to go a little different, but here we are. I had a friend some years ago, and the boy, she had a grandson.
Okay.
He was super effeminate,
Okay.
but he had no men around him to model behavior,
Right.
right? And so, of course, if the only behavior I see
Right.
is effeminate behavior,
Right.
as I'm growing and developing, that's the behavior I'm going to mimic
Yeah.
because I don't see anything else.
Yeah.
But then there's power of life and death in the tongue. Everybody kept saying, he gonna be gay. He gonna be gay. He
Right.
gonna be gay. He gonna be gay. I mean, to the point where he can hear this.
Right.
And to this day, he's gay.
Right.
But at that age that they were saying it, he had no concept of sexuality.
Right.
And so I caution people when you see an effeminate little boy.
Right.
I caution people when you see a little girl that wants to be a tomboy and play football. I caution you
Right.
not to label that prematurely. Because if you verbally label that prematurely, then that plants a
It's spoken to
seed
existence. That's right, Mark.
into that child's mentality.
It does. It does.
Stop criticizing child behavior.
Yeah.
They're not even aware of what you're talking about.
That's right.
And you may or may not have the power to produce what you're saying.
Gotcha. And I want to read some of these comments. And Mo, I don't know if you are part of the LGBT community or anything like that. I'm liking the comments that you put. I
missed a
would
few
like you to
letters.
call in if
said
you
you
are
missed a few
part of the
letters.
community. And then Tracy said, it's not, she was responding to what I said. It doesn't bother me, but I don't want it to be where you're putting on a facade and going over and above. If you are gay, if you are lesbian, I want you to be yourself. It doesn't bother me. I just don't want you to act like, okay, I just gotta everybody should make their own choice. I feel sometimes now with the media, like even when we watch movies and stuff like that, or even commercials for medicine and stuff like that, I feel that they put gay and lesbian out there. And I'm not saying that, I guess all I'm saying is just be you and be yourself. It doesn't have to be, if I'm a black person, I don't have to go around and saying black power all the time.
Right.
You can see that I'm black, but I still act intelligent enough. So it's just like if it's a nationality or whatever your religion is, you don't have to overexert it.
Yeah.
Your light on anything you do should be shine through you. And like I said, that's why I love D-Mac, because D-Mac, it says I'm still an advocate, but I'm still a person
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And representation is one thing, right?
It
so
is.
it's okay to represent who you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you can't, if there's no representation, there's no advocacy.
Got you.
There's no reason to advocate.
And I totally agree with you and understand what both you all are saying. And I know what you're also trying to hit on as far as the going overboard the facade, but also trying to force it on people. You know, I've also seen that as well. Oh, and you motherfuckers that hang out in Palmer Park. So now, listen.
Come on with it.
So the transgenders over in Palmer Park. Don't be mad at me because I was born actually, you know what I'm saying, a woman, quote unquote, was supposed to be a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
These motherfuckers up. So I remember one time me and my girls riding or whatever and shit, and we was at first we didn't know about Minjos and all that shit because you know I come from around that neighborhood with Minjos and stuff. So we walking around whatever, and I'm like, oh, we can ask them. Is that we was looking for someplace and was stopped to ask them, did they know where it was at? And they looked in the car and looked at us. And at first, you know what I'm saying, driving up, and I'm blind anyway, I didn't know they wasn't women. I didn't know they wasn't, so I didn't know they were, you know what I'm saying, transgenders. And they looked in the car and looked at all of us, and they looked and was like, fishes. And I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, I didn't mention nothing about fish.
That's crazy.
And do
So
we stink or something? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then that's when I started seeing, like, I didn't know that some of them, like, they look at us, you know what I'm saying?
There's competition.
Yeah.
For real. That's what you are.
Yeah.
You're competition. Because they really want the men you have.
Right.
Right? And so
Right.
because you're I
understand
don't
what
want
you're
to
saying.
say real and offend anybody.
No, I
right?
understand what you're
Because
saying.
you
Yeah.
are born a woman.
Right.
It takes something away from their identification as a
Okay.
woman.
Got you.
Okay.
And so it's a defensive tactic.
Exactly.
Okay.
My attacking you
Right.
says that I'm not okay with me.
Right.
So I got to point out your negatives
Right.
instead of what I need to point out what I'm good. And Mark, like I said, Mo and Tracy have a lot to say on this.
313.
Yes.
Can I say 313-723-0481? The phone line is open. Please call in as we continue this conversation. 313-723-0481. Go ahead, Dave. Can you cut us a piece of this pie?
Yes,
Listen,
please.
let me cut while y'all
I
talk.
got a fork out already.
Listen.
Denise is saying, I absolutely love D-Mac.
Here.
Oh, thank you, Denise. Let me tell y'all something
D-Mac
about
is
me.
the vibe.
The moment I realized who I was, I never hid it.
Fork.
I was okay with me. I accepted
Swine,
who I
my brother.
was, and I went to the powers that be, that and I got put out the church.
Got you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't give a fuck because I was okay with who I was.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? This is one of the things that I want to encourage people in this community. It's still, even though it's more widely accepted, it's still a lot of people that are not okay with who they are.
Right.
For whatever the reason. It may not even be spiritual. It
Right.
might not even be scriptural. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of people out here that are not okay with who they are. And I want to
That's true.
encourage you to be true to you.
To you.
Who gives a fuck what another motherfucker think about how you choose to live your life and who you choose to love?
Because 10 times out of 10, the motherfucker that's sitting there talking about you and trying to down you, whatever and stuff, got
Hates
so much
themselves.
shit wrong with them.
They're
'Cause
envious for real of your freedom, your liberty.
Yeah.
Your ability to make decisions that contrary to the status quo or societal
That's true.
norms. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? Because it takes a strong person to be able to say, this is who I am,
Yeah.
and stand up to the scrutiny.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking public opinion.
Yeah.
I'm talking about employment scrutiny.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
That's
healthcare
That's
scrutiny.
true.
Don't nobody just sign up to be treated like shit.
For real. And then judge me if you are without sin.
Oh.
I'll leave that right there.
Cast the first.
You understand?
one.
Because the God that I know is a God that accepts everybody. Whatever it is, you're supposed to go to be able to go to that God. You know what I'm saying? So miss me with a lot of that talk, Judge, be judged not.
Judge
Right.
not, lest ye be judged.
Okay.
And I think that's the issue I feel with the church is, and the church is hypocritical on one part because I understand where the Bible says it's a
Yes.
sin,
Yes.
but the Bible also says to love your neighbor despite that.
Yes.
And it also
So-
says gluttony is a sin. It also
Exactly.
says murder is a sin. It also says all these other things are sin. Well, we can give redemption to everyone else.
But we
We
wanna
can
point
give
out the sin that's not
consideration
ours.
and grace
Yeah.
to everything and everybody else.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to this alphabet community, there is no grace. And the reason is if you go back to the history, Tat,
Okay.
the history, homosexuality used to be a mental illness. classified on the DSM-5 as an actual bona fide mental illness.
Really?
If you were a gay nigga, you was considered nuts.
Really?
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then there was a movement
Okay.
that happened where with the LGBT, and it was during the same time as women's rights and all that type of stuff. That movement came about, and then they moved to have that removed from the DSM-5 as a mental illness. So now people are okay being themselves. We got a call.
We got a caller.
What's going on, Carla? Who's this? Where you calling from?
Hey guys, it's Mo.
Hey,
Hey,
Mo.
Mo.
Okay, so the pie is looking real good. Y'all got me jealous.
Look, hey,
Listen,
that-
my wife.
Whew.
it's still warm too. This shit good as
It's
hell.
probably on my brain.
They was
Okay,
on
don't
my
rub
house.
it in.
Bottom crust, but
Mo, I
It's
am
good.
sending
It's
you
enough
some
top
through the
crust for me.
camera, okay?
I'm gonna have to send y'all some of my cheesecake because I got
You
a
better.
You know what? You might have to come in and guest host and bring the cheesecake.
You okay?
I would love that. So I'm gonna make this real quick. For me, just be true to yourself. Whatever it is that makes you happy, be happy. But the labels and the stereotypes, that's the part that gets me. You can't help who you love. It's important to love yourself, and whoever you choose to love and show that love with, that's your business. But the labels and the stereotypes and the expectations, that's just the part that just bothers me the most. I'm a free spirit. I'm a love who I want to love. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You ain't got to like it. You ain't got to agree. You ain't got to approve. I'm living for me.
That's right.
And that's all that matters. If it makes me happy, if it's right for me, it's right for me. It might not be right for everybody else, but I know what's right for me.
And that's the
And that's
thing.
all I got.
That's the thing. You have to be okay with you before you expect anybody else to be okay with you.
That's right.
Because the way you carry yourself will demand respect. The way you carry yourself will cause people to say. I've had people say to me, and I'm not going to say I agree with this statement, but I've had people say to me, D-Mac, before I met you, before I was your client, before whatever, I thought this, that, and the other about gay people. But when I met you, you just a real person. And that's just reality. We're
Because
just people. But
that
when we
the
try
gay-
to
right, that doesn't
over-exaggerate
matter.
that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it becomes overbearing. And it's like, if you would just be you and just live in your truth, people will respect you just for being you. Period. That's my message to this community. Like, I don't expect everybody to agree with my life choice, because for me it was a choice. I don't expect anybody to agree and just be like, oh, I'm right. I want to see it all. I want to be a part of every portion of your life. I don't expect that.
But see, the thing about you is you real enough and honest enough to be real and honest about everything that you experience, right? You know, a lot of them, and I'm not of that, so I can't speak for them. But it seems if almost kind of like how David earlier said, some of them just do it for the trend, just to go along to get along type shit. It's not
This
really
new shit.
Yeah.
This new shit. This new generation.
And they go
still there,
it's
Mo?
a
and
Yeah,
then
they
they'll
something
say
different.
that they were born that way just because it sounds good on paper. You
It's
know
a
what I'm saying?
fad. Like, okay, so I had a niece. I have a niece. I ain't gonna say I had a niece. I still have a niece. We've not communicated for years, but she was going through a situation where she was on a basketball team, and half the basketball team were lesbians, right? And it was pressure to be a lesbian on this team, right? And so she kind of bought into the whole idea, not because it was her, but because it was pressure, right? Because this is what we do. And, you know, she going through it like, you know, her mom called me like, you need to come talk to your niece. I don't know how to get through to her. You know, she hitting herself in the head. I don't want to be this way and all this type of shit, right? Cool. So I get over there and I'm talking to her. I said, guess what? I said, you don't have to be this way. You don't. Who said you do?
Right.
Why are you fighting yourself?
Right.
This is not who you are. You don't have to allow anybody else to pressure you to be this. This generation,
True.
it's become attractive. Because it's more acceptable, it's become attractive.
Yep.
Your boyfriend
Yeah,
done
because they
hurt
think
you.
that's the end thing to do.
Yeah, it's the end thing to do.
That's the trend.
My boyfriend, he done hurt me, and I'm just gonna be very frank and honest. There's certain sports that promote this shit.
They do. They do.
Ladies basketball, ladies softball.
They do.
Soccer.
And that's why I was
You know
going,
what I'm
that's what I
saying?
was
A lot
about,
of feminine sport, or not feminine, a lot of women's sports promote this and pressure. And it's, I'm
Yeah.
not going to say it's intentional pressure.
Gotcha.
But if you see that this is the lifestyle of the sport, and this is the entity you want to become a part of,
Then what would you
then
expect?
let me gravitate toward that so that I can be accepted.
right.
Got you.
Right.
I'm not suggesting that everybody in female sports is pressured
Yep.
or will succumb to the pressure.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that. So I don't want the hate mail.
Don't reach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
'Cause
What I'm suggesting is it happens.
exactly.
And because it's a fad and because it's popular. Oh, you heard me? I'm going to go get me a girlfriend. Oh, you heard me? And then the girlfriend fucked your whole life up. Because there's some unstable ass mucks, messy, unstable creatures out here in the feminine, in the woman world as well, in the LGBTQ world as well.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this as well, D-Mac. One of the things I've been noticing now as a trend is women if a guy does something like they don't agree with or they act a certain way, they use gay as something derogatory towards men. Or if a guy does something, or you're not gonna do that for me, you gay, or you sassy, or
But
stuff
that's
that.
what I say. But then when you're actually gay, then you're a champion. Then you're
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying.
You the bestie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, so wait a minute. It's okay for you to be the best.
So it's only gay is only being bad. It's only gay to be bad if you're actually straight, or I guess the best way I can say it. If you know what I mean, if you're a straight man.
Exactly.
they
But
can
see,
use
okay,
being
so
gay
but what are they
as a
calling
weaponizer.
gay? Like, so because you're expressing yourself, you're expressing your emotions. Because what is it?
Yeah. So for example, it'll be like if a guy is expressing why he's upset, he's actually communicating. Some women will be like,
He's gay as hell.
That's
Yeah,
because
I've heard
give,
that.
that's
Yeah.
because
Say
they're
Mo.
not mature enough to give any weight to emotional intelligence.
Exactly. Go ahead, Mo. You
What
were
you say,
saying.
Mo? Mo?
No, what you were saying, it's going to be something that's going to be derogatory. You know, if you're expressing your emotions,
Yeah.
you gay as hell or you acting gay. You know, no. You know,
Yeah.
people have emotions. All I'm saying is be true to who you are. Love yourself. If it works for you, let it work. Don't worry about nobody else, and you don't need approval from anybody to live your life how you want to live it. And I'm gonna end it there.
I wanna
I
say
love
this.
y'all.
Thank
We
you
love
for
you.
calling,
Thank you
Mo.
for calling in, Mo.
Thank you. I want to say this to the to the gay community. I don't give a fuck who agree, who like it, who love it or not. As long as you love yourself and you're okay with who you are, of course everybody needs support. Of course everybody needs some validation to some degree. But my validation has never come from an external source. Never. And if I relied upon that, I would be depressed. I would isolate myself, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody does not have to, just because this is okay for you, just because this is who you are, does
Right.
not mean everybody else has to adjust their belief system, their value system, everything they believe.
Right.
They don't have to believe what you believe.
Yeah.
The only thing they ought to do is respect you
That's it.
as an individual who's accepting your truth.
That's it.
That's it. I don't agree with the whole imposition on the heterosexual community, like, love me, accept me, this is who I am. I don't agree with
Yeah,
that. You don't have to.
Yeah.
As long as I accept myself, fuck what you talking about. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For real.
No, I agree with you that. I will say one thing to all you gay men out there to be hanging at the Woodward in downtown
Lord have
Detroit.
mercy.
Because no, I've hung there. Just teach me how to do my makeup like you motherfuckers. That's
Get
all.
away. Bye. I'm not doing
That's it.
Thank you, I appreciate
They did
that.
me
That was-
flawless. Man.
So let me say this. I did look up some stuff.
Okay.
Let me explain to you.
Did you really just do that to me, Mark?
These people that are out here that are not okay with who they are, that are afraid to live in their truth, that are whatever. Living in your truth is vital. One, it gives you an opportunity to embrace who you are
Okay.
without fear or judgment of judgment rather, or discrimination. It also fosters a sense of self-acceptance. Like, even if you don't accept me, I accept myself. I'm okay with me.
Right.
You have to be okay with you.
Yeah.
It empowers you,
Yeah.
right? It benefits your mental health. Suppressing or denying who you are or your identity leads to depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem.
Right.
If I gotta hide who I am from everybody that I care about, and everybody that I think cares about me, then are they really caring about me and my authenticity?
Exactly.
And so the ultimate answer is no, they're not. So that means they're not caring about you. They're caring about the image that you're presenting.
Right.
It's also vital because it just being able to be open and honest about who you are. Living openly, it allows you to connect with others,
Right.
who share similar experiences. You're not sitting around isolated or alienated or feeling like you're alone because you don't believe anybody will accept you or love you or just allow you to be you.
Yeah.
Right.
If you like, I have never, and I will never, and I will never be a proponent of not living in your truth.
Yeah.
I never hid. I never hid it. I called my pastors like, yo, I got something to talk to y'all about.
Yeah.
Y'all praying for my soul? Let me tell you what to pray for, because this was happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't about to find out. You ain't about to catch me up. None of that shit. I don't give a fuck how you feel about what I'm saying, but you're my pastors, you're my leaders. I need to let you know what's happening. And, their response was, oh, you got to go.
Yeah.
Right? Where I'm going to the community that accepts me. I'm going to the people that actually love me unconditionally.
Right.
Which is not the way ministry should happen, right?
Right.
If I come to you with an issue and I come to you with a concern, then there should be prayer. There should be consultation. There should be some sort of restoration. There should be some sort of reconciliation.
Exactly.
Not just extraction.
Yeah.
Because what I found out is everybody knew but me what was going on.
Right.
Right? So I'm like, oh shit, I'm the snitch. They gotta get rid of me. Because I'm telling the business when this is common business.
Yeah.
So I admonish the church to quit judging people because y'all doing this shit.
A lot of shit. Oh, and so, I know we're about to be out of here in a second. But what I want to say is, and that's why you get so much respect the way you do, Matt. Is you in the closet, motherfuckers, that I don't have no respect for?
Yeah.
Stop trying to live a lie or whatever out here. Know what the fuck you doing with the same sex, whatever it is, and then going back home as if you're not doing that, or that's not really what
And
you want
stop
to be.
hurting the people that you trying to use to cover yourself up.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Stop.
the bottom line is
In
you
the
being
closet
selfish.
ass
Yes.
motherfuckers.
Being selfish.
Seriously. Hey, ladies, if you like pussy and you really not satisfied and happy at home, whatever, then just go and do that. Don't hurt that man. Don't crush that man. I do see I have met a lot of scorned men out here, okay? Hey, fellas, stop going home to your ladies knowing that you want something else, okay? Knowing that
Peaches.
you right. Please stop. It's not fair. It is not fair at fucking all. And stop playing people with emotions and feelings and everything
And
else.
let's just not say it's like you're wanting penis or pussy. If you're emotionally attached to that,
Yeah.
you need to be truthful to yourself
Self,
because you're
yeah.
gonna hold it in and you're gonna hurt yourself too.
Yeah.
Because you never know how a motherfucker gonna react to that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For
if
real.
you're dealing with, like you say, making, we said we're going to get out of saying making a decision. It's being true to yourself, Stop misleading others, you know what I'm saying, and hurting others. Because I see a lot of people that has been hurt.
Because that's what leads to a lot of the disrespect.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm saying? There's
It
a lot of
does.
pretense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, even with some of the trans community, like, especially more so with the trans women, it's a lot of deception happening. And then when the nigga find out, then there's a lot of violence happening. And then we want to be upset with the person that committed the violence. Yes, of course, be upset.
Exactly.
But I also need to be upset with the person that's not being authentic.
For real.
And true to who they are and being transparent with the people they're involving
That's
themselves
right.
with. Because there's a flip side to this LGBT. Everybody want to have rights and advocacy, but there needs to be transparency and honesty.
That's right.
I don't feel like I should have to tell. No, you do.
You do.
Absolutely, you do.
Because what if it's that person that, they're not there, and that's what I wanted to get on. And number one, before I go with my comment, Denise, I do agree with you. It's not always about sex. It's about,
Right.
so it's different things.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what I was agreeing with as well, is because I don't want it to be where you're overdoing everything to show who you are, your sexuality.
Right.
But then you should also be a mentor to where if it's somebody that's at that crossroad of making a decision that's afraid of sharing it. What if I see D-Mac? D-Mac isn't overexerting, but she's confident.
Yep.
And then that person can say, D-Mac, can I have a word with you? I'm going through this, and that. And I feel D-Mac is the perfect person to say, okay, well, if you want to go this way, these are the things that you have. I feel D-Mac would say,
yes,
these are everything you have to weigh out.
Yes.
And D-Mac would be the person to say, if that's not you, then don't be that person. And like I said, I feel you're so authentic. And I've told you this since the first time I did the podcast with you.
No, she is. And I love when the first time I talked to D-Mac, and she was like, I'm not with that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, flat out, we was just kicking it. She was like, and, she's not around here like, oh, no, you got to call me bro at all times, whatever and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You
like,
got to call me a dude, and she'll say, I'm a mom. You understand?
Yeah.
Nah, she's not the mom with the heels on and shit.
And she doesn't have to be. But that's who D-Mac
exactly.
is.
She's not, you know what I'm saying, sitting here, you know what I'm saying, like you said, the facade. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not, and thank you for that.
I don't care what the external is.
Yeah.
The internal is what it is. We're about to wrap it up.
Gotcha.
The internal is what it is. My final thought is to people, be true.
Yeah.
Love yourself. Love who you love. Be true to yourself. Despite the judgment of the world. Right?
Yeah.
Stay strong. Stay confident. Do you.
Yeah.
Be different. And know that that's okay.
That's all right.
And you don't have to be extra.
That's right.
You don't have to. Everybody ain't gotta like it. Everybody ain't gotta love it.
That's
as long as you love yourself.
I need you to read this comment at the bottom. Denise wrote.
She said, when I visit Detroit, I'm coming to meet Damone Mack, even though she don't like grown humans. Girl, listen, I'm waiting on my little planet to come on back and get me. Come zap me up, spaceship. What's your final thought?
My final thought is just be you. Like I said, I'm raised in the church. I'm in the church. I love God. He heard my cry. But he heard my cry. That's how and I try not to. I don't want to be what is called a Bible thumper. A Bible thumper is the person that you say hi, and they'll quote a Bible verse so quick.
Yeah.
So I go by what the Bible says, and the Bible says show love to everyone, just like you would show. So I try to be not a Christian, but a person that loves God and everybody else. And I think that's what everybody should be. Exactly.
God is love.
That's exactly what
anything contrary to that, anything that you demonstrate contrary to that, is contrary to Him. And so to not love your neighbor as you love yourself is a sin also. So I admonish the community, be true to yourself. I admonish the public, love your neighbor as yourself.
You better. My final thoughts, live and let live. Let's get it.
And we out this motherfucker.
Hey.
Warning. You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.